What up, Hyperchange? Welcome to another episode. We got some breaking Tesla news to cover right now. CNBC has just come out with a report saying Tesla has acquired a company called DeepScale AI, their computer perception startup, essentially building AI software to run neural nets with less computing power. They're actually a VC-backed private company founded by somebody called Forrest Iandola. The first sort of time this rumor started heating up was yesterday when he posted on LinkedIn. I joined the Tesla Autopilot team this week. I am looking forward to working with some of the brightest minds in deep learning and autonomous driving. And now Laura Colati from CNBC is putting out the CNBC article saying that Tesla's actually acquired his company, DeepScale, outright. Tesla's not confirmed this, so it's still a rumor, but I've done some initial digging on this and want to give you guys my initial thoughts and breaking down what this means. So let's talk about DeepScale. Founded in 2015 by Forrest Iandola and his co-founder Kurt Kutzer. The company has around 40 employees today, has raised about 18.5 million in venture capital according to Crunchbase. The most recent was a $15 million round led by Point72 and Next 47. So the company is well VC funded. My guess is if you're raising 15 million, you're probably valued at least 50, 75 million as a market cap. So if you're thinking that Tesla acquired this company outright and the valuation increased maybe from that April 18 or decreased, I don't know, let's say it increased a little. My guess is maybe about 100 million acquisition price. No word on whether that was cash or stock. So what does DeepScale do? What is the company's actual core technology? First, I think it's important to take a step back and look at who the founders are and what their background is. So Forrest Iandola is a computer researcher who is doing his PhD at Berkley and their AI program there, which developed something called SqueezeNet, which is a new sort of neural net framework that allows you to run neural nets far more efficiently with less computing power. This sort of went viral in that AI community, and then that technology or idea was the spark behind what became DeepScale AI. And they're like, okay, let's build a company to help all these, auto companies and software companies that are gathering huge amounts of data. Think about the problem, the real computing problem with self-driving is you have a car with, let's say, all these cameras, let's even say LiDAR, throw in LiDAR or radar. And the point is all this data coming at you in extremely high rates, and you need to be able to process it and then make a decision. You need to combine data from different systems, whether it's radar, LiDAR, or cameras, or anything. So the algorithms that are processing all of that data can use a huge amount of computing power. That's a criticism of a lot of self-driving systems today. They have this computer in the trunk problem where they essentially need to have all this extra servers and computers to actually be able to run the software that drives these cars. Well, that's what makes Tesla unique and why I think Tesla is actually a perfect partner for DeepScale. Tesla's taking a very unique, vertically integrated approach. They've actually built their own fully self-driving computer and chip, which is entirely the name of the game with that chip is being able to do a ton of processing with ultra low efficiency. Because think about it, the biggest constraint that Tesla has for its range, for its software, for the computer is the battery pack. It only has a certain amount of power. And so if you want to be able to, go a long range, do everything, just run the car in a standard fashion, but also run this, supercomputer neural net, you need to have an extremely efficient algorithm, an extremely efficient processor. And so that is what this acquisition is about. And DeepScale AI was actually bringing to market their first product called Carver 21, which was a forward-facing perception software. And I mentioned this because it was specifically designed for a forward-facing camera. So although they do talk about LiDAR in some of their talks, and there's a couple talks on YouTube that Forrest Iandola does, so I'm going to link to those in the description. So if you want to nerd out and learn more about this, you can. But I thought it was really interesting that the first product they chose to develop is something specifically designed to leverage all that data coming from a camera and have the system make sense of it super efficiently from a compute perspective. So why does that matter? Because Tesla has long been the company saying we're going to do this with cameras and radar, no LiDAR. So I think the focus that this is really a computer vision AI company in the same camera lane that Tesla is. So what is going on at a high level here to summarize? Tesla has acquired this company called DeepScale AI, or that's what it looks like. About 40 employees, Silicon Valley, a bunch of coding, engineering people, really, really smart people. I was listening to this podcast with Forrest Iandola. He says one of the hardest things in the industry is acquiring talent, really good AI researchers. You just have to be so smart, so good at computers. There's just a handful of people in the world who are really advancing this field and can add value and understand what's going on. And so when you have a team of 40 of these people, well-funded, working at the same computer vision stuff, working on making these algorithms more efficient, it's so much easier for Tesla to buy this team under Forrest Iandola than to hire out and try and do it on their own. So what I'm trying to say is this is an acqui-hire. Tesla's not buying DeepScale AI for their technology, or maybe they are. There is a little bit of tech there, but it's more for the talent. It's the team, and it's the tech that team is poised to develop. And I think from DeepScale's perspective, this makes a ton of sense. I mean, I think there's, Tesla is the only company that has the fleet. They have 700,000 cars, by my estimates, on the road today that are Teslas being driven around, where drivers are training those neural nets. If data is the new oil, Tesla is by far the wealthiest company in this entire self-driving race by orders and orders of magnitude. Every other company like Waymo and Cruise is paying engineers to drive around and slowly collect this little drip of miles, while Tesla has this whole river streaming because you are paying them to train their neural net when you buy their cars. So I think if from a AI scientific researcher perspective who wants to put these neural nets into action, who wants to have an impact, who wants to make a lot of money, who wants to change the world, who wants to work with top talent, joining Tesla makes sense. They have that fleet that is a huge asset that no other tech company has. So I think it's a win-win and sort of a match made in heaven here. Really, really excited about this. But I also do want to say, at a high level, everyone's gonna be like, oh my God, Tesla made this acquisition. Like, let's look into it. I mean, on the flip side, Tesla's a $40 billion company. This was probably done for about $100 million. They're adding 40 people to a team of 40,000, although they're very highly skilled engineers. Is this going to move the needle in terms of revenue in the near term? Probably not. But, this does show Tesla's focus on tech. Tesla's a tech company. They're buying out 40 software engineers because they want to build out that talent to build out the software suite to actually get to full self-driving. Last thing, which I think is really interesting to tie into all of this, if you look at the SqueezeNet paper, which I found, which is all about, that initial viral research that Forrest Iandola did that led to DeepScale, they mentioned Tesla in the beginning of the paper here as an example of why this technology could be so useful in the market. They say in the introduction motivation section, less overhead when exporting new models to clients. For autonomous driving, companies such as Tesla periodically copy new models from their servers to customer cars. This practice is often referred to as an over-the-air update. Consumer Reports has found that the safety of Tesla's autopilot semi-autonomous driving functionality has incrementally improved with recent over-the-air updates. However, over-the-air updates of today's typical CNN and DNN models, I think that's deep neural network, can require large data transfers. With AlexNet, this will require 240 megabytes of communication from the server to the car. Smaller models require less communication, making frequent updates more feasible. So that's a long way of saying that using this technology that DeepScale and the researchers are developing, Tesla will be able to iterate on its over-the-air software updates like that V10 that everyone's saying made the self-driving software so much better. The pace of innovation with Tesla's updates has been incredible, and that's exactly the core competency that this company DeepScale is building, is making it easier to move huge, very complex neural nets, to push them out to a fleet, to rapidly iterate, to rapidly improve. I mean, this is the technological flywheel that is going to get Tesla to self-driving before anybody, I think. So really exciting stuff. Anyway, that wraps up this episode. Tesla, it looks like, has acquired DeepScale AI, computer vision software company. It's going to accelerate their development of autonomous vehicles. Would love to know what you think in the comments below. I'm still doing more research into this, what this means, what DeepScale was really working on. So if you are in the space or you have any insight or ideas or thoughts, please leave it below. This is Hyperchange. Huge shout out to our Patreon supporters, producers, funding the channel. Also, side note, if you can tell, I'm in a random hotel right now in Nevada. Why would I be in Nevada? Because maybe Tesla has a facility that I'm going to tomorrow that I might make content about. Who knows? Anyway, stay tuned. See you guys next time.